The age-old expression, money can't buy happiness, I really find as time goes on more and more to become really outdated. And rightfully so. I mean, there's lots of studies that have come out over the years that have shown that money can buy happiness, even in the shorter term, and even can provide comfort and help ease people's minds. And especially with an economy that's been dwindling the past couple of years and inflation going up the roof and wages not compensating for that, you can see why a lot of people are wanting to have lots of money, or rather even temporarily have lots of money to help buy and fix the problems that they're feeling, whether it be debt, missing car payment, lack of money for the rent, lack of food to buy, even buying dinners with your spouse, being able to go out on nice dates. So, money can buy happiness. It truly can. However, it's only happiness it can buy, not joy. Because there is a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is much more temporarily, as I explained at the beginning of the video. It's temporary. Now, what do I mean by it being temporary? Well, it's simple. Those things that I mentioned, those are temporary things that you can buy to provide you temporary moments of happiness. But when I bring up joy, joy is the idea that, well, to put it simply and bluntly, it's the idea of you doing something that continuously makes you happy over and over again. It doesn't give you that temporary moment of happiness that I brought up earlier. And really, that's what it's all about. Because money can buy happiness, but it can't buy joy. Because there's only so much money can do to give you that temporary happiness until until it gets tired and boring. And believe me, there's a lot of things I can think of. But more specifically, say you keep buying, a piece of chocolate or a piece of candy that you just really like. And you buy it over and over after work every single day. There's going to be a point where that chocolate isn't going to give you much happiness anymore. Because it's just the same thing you're buying over and over again. With not much really changing. Probably not the best example, but it's the best one I could think of right in the moment that would make a bit sense. But regardless, that's really how it is. Now, don't mistake what I'm saying in that being it's not a good idea to have money in general or too much money for too long. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm just saying is don't let it be the thing that gets you up in the morning every single day and thinking that you need to have all this money to be truly happy. Because you don't. Obviously, bills need to be paid, debt needs to be solved, and expenses and all that need to be figured out. But don't let money run your life, because then that could lead to greed, and then that could lead to all sorts of other problems that, well, we could be here all day talking about how, money makes the world go round and round, but eventually turns it into a corrupt cesspool, which is what we're really facing when it comes to corporations that we have to work for. Because, that's why these big corporations exist, is to make money and profits, but it runs their lives for the majority of them. Why nonprofits are probably the better ones to work for, but I'm getting ahead of myself, and that's more of my own personal opinion. But I guess it does tie into the idea of why people work lower-end jobs, because I know you're probably wondering, well, why do people work these jobs that are just, they don't pay as much? Why does my friend work as a direct care provider to help special needs people? It doesn't even pay them that much. Or why is this person just a clerk at at some sort of a discount store in a lower end part of town? Or even why is this person, a secretary for a charity organization, like for veterans or anything? And it really comes down to really the big reason of that being it gives them some sort of fulfillment. It gives them, again, some sort of joy that they're providing help to their community. Because a lot of these organizations, you might not think about it, but if you break it down and look at these organizations that they work for, they have a message that that person believes in, and it's why they're sticking around. It's why they feel that they want to continue working for this company or wherever they're working with, because they feel fulfillment and joy in helping their own community, providing for the community. Because Because that's even why people work at food drives or work at, homeless shelters, in a sense, because it gives them that joy of waking up every morning. They're going to help people. They're helping somebody and changing someone's life and creating an impact. Now, that's not always the case, and, the realist in me is telling me, it's not always sunshine and rainbows when it comes to that, but that's really any job, The pros got to outweigh the cons. And just like any other scenario, like say, you like doing indoor rock climbing. Sure, it kind of sucks having to put all the chalk on your hand and having to get everything set up and do all this. It starts feeling like a chore before you have to actually do it. But then when you're actually doing it, you're enjoying it. It's providing that sort of fulfillment that I was talking about. Just, it's the pros outweigh the cons. And really, that's what I think it comes down, or rather boils down to, is just finding that thing in life that gives you joy to wake up every morning. And again, try to see if you can still make some decent money and make a living while doing it. And then maybe you could go up in that company and make a little bit more money, and again, while still maintaining that joy and fulfillment. Because there's times when I was younger, I wanted to have more money. I mean, to be fair, when I was in middle school and high school, I was starving. I mean, I'm not going to make it melodramatic, but my grandmother gave me $20 to $30 a week to buy stuff just for me. And unfortunately, that's not much you can do, especially in a state like Southern California, because that's where I'm unfortunately from. It doesn't really get you much, but it was more so to feed me on top of the very little money that my mother had to provide, because of we were dealing with some other stuff going on that I won't get into. But if I had more money in that moment, I definitely could solve a lot of those problems. But then when you have too much, it then comes down to, does it create, as the other expression goes, more money, more problems? Maybe, perhaps. But it's a what if scenario I could go on and on about that I don't really have all the answers for. But the last thing I really want to get at for people is this, and I want to reiterate again, is find something that gives you that joy and fulfillment in life. And, just roll with it. It might not seem glamorous and everything, and if people say, well, you're wasting your talents or doing this, just forget about what they're saying. Because I bet you some of those people, have those high-paying jobs, but they have to put up with some of the worst crap on the planet, and it annoys them, and it pisses them off, and it has all these X, Y, and Z problems. So really, it's, is it really going to get better if you take their advice and try to find something that pays more, that doesn't give you nearly as much fulfillment? But again, if, your expenses go up and you do need to find something that pays more, then, you have to kind of consider that. So, but if you're happy, or rather, you're waking up and you're enjoying what you're doing, or you're doing a hobby that brings you the joy and fulfillment and all that, just keep doing it. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Find a side gig or a side hobby, rather, that can make a little bit of money to help kind of offset. Do that kind of thing. Or if you have a spouse or something, maybe work with them to make a side hobby to increase money coming in. Do that kind of thing. But don't just settle for mediocrity or settle for a job that pays more but makes you miserable, because eventually it will piss you off and everything. And it will eventually, make you an unhappy person. I mean, the previous job I worked at, I enjoyed a lot of aspects of it. It goes, back into, I had extra money coming in. I was giving back to the community. I was enjoying my time there. But the people I was working with and everything made it a lot more miserable. And it's just, there's a point where I was like, I got to find something else at some point, because this just isn't becoming fun anymore. And that's what, obviously that's not what happened per se, but it is probably for the better. Despite how the money I was making, it's probably for the better. I'm not, doing a job like that anymore. So, but anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Money can buy happiness, but it can't buy joy. So remember that if you will. So anyway, that's all I have for today in this video. If you like the content and everything, feel free to give a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any other ideas, or if you enjoyed the content, you know, getting that feedback is what I crave for, because I definitely want to bring videos that you guys like, as well as topics that I like talking about, because again, that kind of gives me some fulfillment making these videos and posting them, is meeting a community of people, or rather building a community of people that just, you know, want to talk and get through life as we go day by day. So anyway, have a good day, and I'll see you Tuesday.